Government confirming 130 new rules and regulations, handing them more control.
We are protecting tenants' rights and making sure that people can treat the house that they're renting like a home.
Great news for Victoria's 1.5 million renters, but the Real Estate Institute says owners will be blindsided.
There are many private landlords out there that actually don't know about these changes, and ultimately it will mean that rents will rise.
Restrictions are being put on the frequency of rent increases and acceptable reasons to evict, and renters will have more leniency to pay late or take control of emergency repairs without having to check.
A really significant change for renters. We've got 1 in 4 people renting in Victoria.
And things like painting walls, fixing drafts, improving security, and even a veggie patch can no longer be reasonably refused by landlords.
I think it's important for people to have the freedom to choose to make those changes.
And as property prices hit new record highs and affordability worsens, long-term renters are becoming a focus. Changes to better allow for pets like Larry and Bentley had already been made, but now child safety and cosmetic changes formed the biggest shake-up in 25 years.
It would have been perhaps fairer to stagger them rather than so many come through as of today.
Chris Kohler, 9 News.
The Mayor of Nashville has declared a state of emergency after record rainfall claimed 4 lives in the American home of country music. Torrential downpours have led to flash flooding, with bystanders helping free those who were trapped in their cars. More than 130 people have been rescued from homes and vehicles in less than 10 hours. Donald Trump has newlyweds in surprise after he
can't read the card.
Reception at Mar-a-Lago. Donald Trump developed a reputation for crashing weddings at the resort during his presidency. For the first time in
Standing 50 metres above the Maribyrnong and covering more than half a kilometre, this is our first look at a key link designed to make Melbourne's long-awaited airport rail a reality.
The bridge and the 2 kilometres of elevated rail heading into Sunshine is a key feature of this important project.
Built high to reduce congestion around that busy transport hub, the bridge will be the 2nd tallest in the state once completed, but local businesses will have to be bought to make way.
There won't be any residential properties compulsory required. There will be some commercial properties. The majority of those have known for many years the potential for their acquisition.
Construction is slated to start next year, and while the state and Commonwealth have committed $5 billion each, the full cost is yet to be confirmed.
We've always said that this project would be in a range of between $8 to $13 billion.
Announcing the development today, Minister Jacinta Allen was in step with her federal counterpart.
This is a critical project for Melbourne, critical project for Victoria.
But his local colleagues still aren't on board, adamant this design will just put more pressure on the suburban system.
It's a second-rate solution. It will use existing capacity that's being built now, capacity that will roll and feed
It's been rather cool.
And there were even a few showers through this afternoon. It didn't do much to budge the temperature. The temperature only reached 18.2, so our coldest day in a fortnight. A front clipped the coast this morning, and that pushed in a few showers, but they cleared before 9 a.m. Eastern suburbs
No one knocking?
recorded the highest totals: 3.6 millimetres at Ferny Creek, 1.8 at Scoresby, 1.4 at Epping, and 1.6 at Frankston. But it's clear skies as we head into the Easter break, and Melbourne has a 30-degree day to look forward to. On average, that only happens in April every second year, and last year the warmest April day was just 23.5. Well, we have 3 days warmer than that in the coming weeks, so the Easter Bunny is going to bring home more than just the chocolates this year, Pete.
Well, that's good to hear. Thank you very much, Lavinia. Ahead in 9 News,
they trained was part of UFC Fight Pass. I am so excited about all the things that we're going to create.
Is your internet slowing down your business? Here's why thousands of businesses are getting up to speed with Aussie Broadband.
Fast, painless setup and a network that just works. Reliable from start to finish.
Exactly what we need to run our business.
With fast business NBN plans with up to gigabit speeds, powered by our award-winning national network, backed by our dedicated all-Australian support team. We'll get your business up to speed. Join thousands of satisfied businesses and switch to Aussie Broadband today.
Residing in Isles.
Doors are certain. Can I have night while we pass the elimination again?
And we're closer.
I know exactly what you do and exactly what you do.
Second mic.
Both on 9 now. Your world of free entertainment.
I've already lived in 13 houses. Once, I found myself at the front door. That's how I knew I had to move. Again. Kids like Tom deserve a safe, nurturing and stable environment where they can grow, learn, play, thrive. You can help by visiting adoptchange.org.au.
At TAB, we're on a mission to deliver a streaming tsunami of racing and sport. Introducing Play Central, the only place to watch all 3 Sky Racing channels, the best in US sport, and place a bet while you watch. And a drone delivery? Yeah, it's a bit much. Play Central, new on your Tab app. Tab, long may we play.
I'd like a bar of chocolate, please.
Your change.
Happy birthday, Mum.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
He's one of the world's most ruthless leaders with unimaginable wealth and a cult-like following. But is Putin behind a global web of poisoning?
This was the work of the Russian state.
A chilling investigation across Europe to Salisbury.
That's nonsense. Why is it nonsense?
Could Australia be next?
We should all be very worried.
Under investigation tonight after Married at First Sight on 9.
Welcome back to 9 News. Peter Hitchner, just feeling a little unwell, but we do press on. A teenager has been slashed across the face and knifed in the back in a random attack in St Kilda. He's told Maggie Rayworth he and a group of mates were heading home from a night out when they were set upon.
This is Joshua Snowseal's face after what should have been a regular night out with mates. On Friday, he was set upon in a random and unprovoked attack.
Had what looked like a Stanley knife, and he slashed me across the face.
While waiting for an Uber home, 2 masked thugs viciously assaulted the group of 4, demanded phones and wallets. The teens refused. From partying on St Kilda's Dartford Street to the emergency room, Josh told to prepare for surgery. The cut to his face was so deep he now has extensive nerve damage and a scar for life.
Didn't say anything bad to them, didn't do anything bad to them.
The St Kilda attack is just one of a series around the Bayside suburbs. At least 3 robberies have been reported in Sandringham. In each, a group of young males robbed and assaulted teenage boys. Police are also investigating incidents at Gordon Park, and some claim Bayside crimes are being covered up.
Gangs are coming into the area to commit violent crimes. The local community hasn't been told what's going on, and I think that had they been, some of these crimes could have been avoided.
Today, police insisted public safety is always a top priority. They say those living in the Bayside area should feel secure, and recent crimes are being investigated by specialist detectives. 2 violent offenders are still on the run, but 4 young and now traumatised men are adamant it won't change them. Maggie Rayworth, 9 News.
Turning overseas now, protesters have returned to the streets of Myanmar after 114 people were killed by security forces over the weekend. Funerals are being held for many of the dead, with reports the military opened fire at one of the gatherings. The UN has now condemned the bloodiest day since the military coup began. Britain has reached another important mark in its vaccine rollout. More than 30 million people have now received their first dose. That equates to around 57% of all adults. Prime Minister Boris Johnson tweeted, "It's wonderful news." It coincides with an easing of England's lockdown. Groups of 6 are now allowed to meet outdoors and outdoor sport can resume. An inmate at a prison in Oklahoma has been shot and killed after taking a prison guard hostage. Another prisoner filmed the drama as the corrections officer was forced to his knees with his hands bound. He'd been handing out medication when he was overpowered. 2 teenagers have been charged with murder after a botched carjacking in the United States. Disturbing video has now emerged of the girls, aged just 13 and 15, attacking an Uber driver. Michael Genovese has more.
A front seat confrontation and the deadly aftermath. 2 teenage girls are now charged with murder. Aged 13 and 15, they're accused of carjacking 66-year-old Muhammad Anwar, an Uber Eats delivery driver who's filmed standing his ground. Police in Washington DC say the girls used a stun gun on the grandfather before speeding off with his car. The teenagers climbed from the wreck. Muhammad Anwar was found unconscious on the pavement and was taken to hospital but died from his injuries.
It's more than tragic. I don't even know if that word describes what happened. It's senseless. We have very young people involved.
Emerging 5 days after his death, this vision is expected to be used as evidence. The girls face court on Wednesday. It comes 3 weeks after this assault in an Uber in San Francisco. The driver was pepper sprayed, telling police he believes it was racially motivated. In the United States, Michael Genovese, 9 News.
4 of Melbourne Zoo's cutest residents are now all grown up. The 1-year-old otter pups are showing off their unique personalities as they playfully compete for fishy snacks underwater. A year after becoming internet stars on the zoo's live stream, the boys are now even bigger than their mum. Nice to see. Coming up next in 9 News, problem gamblers urged to talk to the Crown Royal Commission. 9 new routes sending Melburnians on a well-deserved Easter break. And the festival restoring our position as Australia's culture capital.
Oh, looks like the big fella had a late one again. Yeah, that's right, a talking blender. So why am I in a React Energy ad? Fucking I know. React Energy are independent. And they have no lock-in contracts. Fair income. With React, you get the same power as the big power companies without any crap.
But the best bit about React are their prices.
Exactly. To see what you could save, head to reactenergy.com.au.
There's no greater way to start the day with a primo taste. Oh, get in on it, guys. Hey, thanks, guys. Now run towards this tasty smell. Because they all love primo. You hungry, Cal? Sure? Of course.
Hi, is that primo? Have you got any more?
Sure. Looks like you better take 4.
River.
From cookie to coleslaw, there ain't no mistaking. The taste that makes primo. Australia's favourite bacon.
Make every drive an experience with the Nissan X-Trail, featuring Apple CarPlay and a host of handling features that will keep you on the straight and narrow. But let's get things back off track with intelligent 4x4. Nissan Experience X-Trail. controversial season.
How about the 15 of us walk out?
Ever.
I show up for makeup.
We've never dealt with anything like this. She's just blown up the Bachelorette.
The Bachelorette, exclusive tonight now. Your world of free entertainment.
Oh, you mean the letters? The Health Insurance Fund of Australia.
How's this for great value? Join HIF Hospital and Extras right now and you'll get 6 weeks free cover, plus no 2-month waits on extras.
Now, can I fetch you a quote?
Want the latest sports, drama, and Netflix? Too easy. The world's greatest sports and entertainment is on sale now. All in one place. Easy. Search Foxtel.
Tomorrow, the fallout from the Brisbane COVID cluster, how it will impact the rest of Australia in the lead up to Easter.
And from playing a Marvel superhero to a real-life one, Benedict Cumberbatch speaks to talk about his fabulous new role. I'll see you from 5:30.
Members of the public are invited to make submissions to the Crown Melbourne Royal Commission. Anyone with experience or information on problem gambling and criminal activity is urged to come forward. Personal submissions are due by April 26th, ahead of a report tabled by former Federal Court Judge Ray Finkelstein on August the 1st. The Easter long weekend is tipped to be the busiest at Melbourne Airport since the pandemic hit, with 9 new holiday routes taking off. Despite Brisbane's lockdown and COVID outbreak, Queensland is among the most popular destinations. Mean Becca has the details.
From first-time flyers, families and couples, it's the great escape to the Sunshine State.
It's our honeymoon, so we're so excited. We haven't been on a flight in 2 years, so we're wrapped. We're super excited to finally go on a holiday.
Domestic travel is back and it's booming. The Easter long weekend and April school holidays, the perfect time to book a getaway.
Everyone deserves a holiday, and now is the best time to do it. There's lots of competition in the market.
Despite Brisbane's latest COVID outbreak, none of these travellers heading to Queensland were deterred.
We'll stay stuck there. We have families, so yeah, we'll just rush with them if we have to.
We weren't too sure we're going to get away with this one. And hopefully we're not in quarantine when we get back.
There were cupcakes and celebrations for Jetstar's first flight to Hamilton Island since 2015.
We're ready to go. Planes are here, crews are ready to fly, flight attendants are ready to serve you.
While Rex Airlines launched their inaugural flight to the Gold Coast this morning with fares from $79 one way.
Australians who would otherwise be going overseas are exploring their own country, for many of them the first time ever. This is a really great time for us now. You can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
With so many people looking forward to an Easter break, it's estimated that passenger levels will be up to 70% what they were pre-COVID. That's around 55,000 people travelling from Melbourne domestically every day. The 9 new services set to depart Melbourne include Qantas flights to Mount Gambier, Albury, Wagga and Coffs Harbour. Rex will fly to the Gold Coast in Adelaide, while Virgin will add flights to Ballina-Byron.
We're seeing people get a lot more confident about booking. We're seeing airlines provide flexibility around bookings. So the demand is there, and the airlines are ready to service that demand.
Lily Becker, 9 News.
An Australian couple has spoken of their shock and devastation after their 8-year-old son was diagnosed with melanoma. Natalia Cooper says they're warning other parents to be extra vigilant about any changes in their children's skin.
Hayden Price always wears sun protection and has never been burnt in his life. So when doctors told Liza and Nathan their 8-year-old son had melanoma, they couldn't believe what they were hearing.
We were very shocked when the doctor called us to say, sorry, we found cancer. So,
The couple first noticed what they thought was a skin tag on the back of Hayden's head.
he was kind of being irritated every time he put on his helmet or his hat or his goggles. So we took him to the doctor, had it removed. We thought that was the end of it.
The family was told the cancer had spread to lymph nodes in Hayden's neck, so he immediately underwent major surgery in Singapore, where the family is currently living.
It was, it was really traumatic, to live through that. No one likes to see their kids sick.
I'm getting immunotherapy for the first time. He's now in the middle of immunotherapy, a treatment which uses the body's own defence system to kill the cancer.
Melanoma in children is very rare, but it happens. In Hayden's case, the skin cancer is a subtype.
that's not related to sun exposure.
Melanoma is caused by the sun in most cases, but there are uncommon types of melanoma that can occur in places not exposed to the sun.
The Melanoma March campaign is hoping to raise $500,000 for vital research, but so far it's only sitting at $140,000. To donate, go to melanomamarch.org.au.
Actually, their innovation, their research that is keeping our sun alive.
If you see any issues in your kid's skin, just get it checked out by a specialist.
Recent scans showed Hayden was cancer-free, but he'll be closely monitored for 5 years.
I feel happy because it's about to end.
Natalia Cooper, 9 News.
Swinburne University students and their families have celebrated a special milestone, attending Victoria's first face-to-face graduation ceremony since the pandemic hit last year. Professor Brendan Murphy was among the crowd. He was awarded an honorary doctorate of health services, recognising his contributions to the medical field and COVID-19 response. Okay, Monday finance now, and the Australian share market and our dollar were both lower today. Chris Kohler again.
The end of JobKeeper was felt by retail companies today. A lot of that money had ended up in cash registers, so their shares were a little bit lower today. Overall, the market edged down, but big miners like BHP and Fortescue were strong, while Macquarie slipped after hitting record highs last week. Nine Entertainment was also lower after a hack took systems offline. Elsewhere, the Australian dollar is lower, buying 76 US cents, 64 euro cents and 55 British pence. It's still expected to top 80 US cents this year, but for now the weakness is helping Australian exporters.
Well, artificially intelligent beehives are causing quite a buzz at Victorian ports in a bid to ward off pests. The bright purple hives, complete with 360-degree cameras, will be stationed at the Port of Melbourne to pick up any sign of parasitic mites that could harm the state's bee population.
They suck the blood out of the bees, they give them a range of viruses which they can't cope with. So our beehives weaken down and eventually die.
That technology sends real-time photographs and information to Agriculture Victoria. As Melbourne emerges from the COVID crisis, a new festival is set to re-establish our culture capital status. Alan Rascal tells us hundreds of creative people will wow the crowds in May.
Something big is rising in Melbourne.
This is the newest major event and the only one that isn't sport. So this is a big moment for culture in our city, in our state.
Starting with the lunar eclipse on May 26th, the Rising Festival will run across 12 nights. 750 artists set to entertain people like Stick Marabou, organiser of Heavy Congress, which will see 9 sound stacks compete for the crowd's attention.
There'll be a combination of all genres: hip-hop, dubstep, reggae, jungle, bass, and of course you can hear some African songs. We love this beat.
All up, there'll be 133 events and projects at distinctive creative hotspots, including Birrarungmar, the Arts Precinct, Chinatown, Midtown and other various satellite sites.
Do yourselves a favour, as my Melbourne would say, come in, go nuts. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
So COVID certainly hasn't claimed Melbourne's culture capital crown. That's reason enough to party. Alan Ruskell, 9 News.
Okay, Alicia Newling joins me now with the latest sport.
Thank you, Cliff. Coming up tonight, injury turmoil at Essendon. A midfield star booked in for surgery will cost live. Also, why 2 Magpies have been forced into isolation, and new season, same old Lewis, he just can't lose.
Introducing free MasterChef cookware from Coles.
They look impressive. Let's put them to the test. For every $20 you spend in one transaction, scan your Flybuys card to earn 1 MasterChef cookware credit.
Non-stick, how good is that? Super durable.
Collect your cookware free with all credits or with half credits and half pay. Not a Flybuys member? Register for Flybuys via flybuys.com.au to earn 10 bonus cookware credits.
That's the way to cook like a MasterChef.
Free MasterChef cookware from Coles. Free the Australian way. With Square, you can serve your community tableside, outside, inline, or online. Make workflows easier for your team and get food out on time, every time. These are the tools that connect your restaurant, from kitchen to community.
Change is all around us, shaped by technology and human ingenuity. We can make it work for you and your business.
Every detail of her infamous murder re-examined. The case of Kaylee Anthony. Online now. Your world of free entertainment.
Are you hopping to the holidays?
That's why I picked Woolies for a reason.
At Ines, you'll love our appliances as much as we do. And right now, there's massive savings on ASCO and SME. Save on cooking packages with an incredible up to 15% off from ASCO. Also, bring Italian style and sophistication into your home with 10% cashback on the SME Classic or Victoria range. Our consultants are kitchen, bathroom and laundry experts. And we won't be beaten on price. So visit one of our 9 showrooms today or shop online and get the ENS feeling for less.
They don't wanna win me. You got a problem with me? Love. You don't wanna win me. Man. You won't never see me come back with a vengeance. Time to go start your engines. What is this thing on mission? Time for y'all stop pretending. Y'all can't do that. Where your crew at?
Telstra's smart modem is backed up by Australia's best 4G network, so if the connection to your house stops, your home Wi-Fi won't. Experience reliable Wi-Fi with the Telstra smart modem.
On April 1st, health insurance premiums get bigger. But what if this time you didn't feed the rate rise creep and just compared a bunch of great health funds with iSelect? Compare, select and save with iSelect on 13/19/20. Make any meal special with the one and only broccolini.
This sports report brought to you by Sportsbet's Elite Average Games. Download the app today and make it look easy with Sportsbet.
There is major injury pain for Essendon tonight with 3 key bombers facing months on the sidelines. Let's go live to Eden Woolley for the details. Eden, just how bad is it?
Well, Alicia, this is not good news for Essendon, who are clearly already struggling. Their brightest young prospect in Sam Draper ruled out for 8 to 10 weeks with a syndesmosis injury. Joining him on the sidelines, Dylan Shield, he's set for an arthroscope. Best case scenario for him, 4 to 6 weeks, but probably longer. While Jai Caldwell has a serious hamstring strain, he's set to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. Meanwhile, Chris Scott facing a please explain from the AFL for his actions against Brisbane on Friday night. At this stage, the league's still working through that process. There have been some reports the Cats have been sledged about their grand final performance. This was the response today from Dane Zorko.
Yeah, that might have been blown out of proportion a little bit. Certainly what's come out today in regards to Harris is that's news to Harris and it's news to a lot of us as players as well, nothing like that. So,
meanwhile, some match review news. The Cats won't challenge Gary Rowan's 2-match ban, while a 2-match ban for Giant Sam Reid for his bump on Nat Fyfe. That, of course, left the Fremantle skipper concussed. It was graded as high impact, so match review officer Michael Christian certainly not mucking around at the moment, Alicia.
Eden Woolley reporting live. A touch of intrigue at Collingwood today with Brodie Grundy and Jordan De Goey missing in action. They've been isolated from teammates after falling ill. Moving on now, and for a 9th consecutive season, the Blues, they are winless after 2 rounds, and pressure is mounting at Princes Park. For his take, Kane Corns is ahead of Footy Classified. Kane, the big question, what is up with Patrick Cripps?
Well, he's out of form, isn't he? And questions emerging whether the new game suits him. It's more free-flowing. There's been a cap on interchange rotations, which means it suits the real aerobic players who can get out and spread. Patrick isn't one of those, and he hasn't had an impact going forward. So he's under pressure, but he's not alone at Carlton. Huge game for the Blues coming up on Sunday against Fremantle, as you just heard, without Nat Fyfe, who is concussed. So pressure building on David Teague very early in the season.
And Kane, the Giants, they are battling too. Should Leon Cameron be worried?
He should be, absolutely. I think that as a coach, what you want your players to perform up to their capabilities, and the Giants aren't doing that. For the amount of talent that they have on their list, their performance against Fremantle yesterday was completely pathetic, and they didn't put in the effort that is required of an AFL side. So when that happens, albeit early in the season, absolutely Leon Cameron should be worried.
Great stuff. Kane Corns ahead of footy classified tonight at 10 o'clock. Let's return to Collingwood now, and there has been a touch of intrigue today with Brodie Grundy and Jordan De Goey missing in action. They've been isolated from teammates after falling ill. Staying put in Melbourne, the Pies hit the track minus some serious star power. Jordan De Goey and Brodie Grundy at home with the sniffles, but the coach has seen it all before.
Much to the coach's chagrin, there's probably been more lost sessions to runny noses in the last couple of months than we would like.
Nathan Buckley is adamant the pair will take their place against Brisbane on Thursday night. And while the question of where De Goey plays remains a hot topic,
Thanks for dropping the Geordie question in.
Buckley says the Pies remain flexible.
He'll play both. That's his role. His role as a mid-forward or a forward-mid.
Veteran Chris Mayne, along with Nathan Murphy, are in the frame to replace an injured Jamie Elliott, while Levi Greenwood's name has also been thrown up for a shutdown role on reigning Brownlow medalist Lachie Neale. After a successful return to the game, Lance Franklin is on track for Saturday's mouth-watering clash against Richmond. The Buddy and Dusty show loom as one of footy's biggest draw cards. Still, John Longmire is playing coach cautious.
We won't put him at risk. So we'll use that as the underlying philosophy, and then we'll work with him as the weeks go.
Lewis Hamilton has picked up where he left off, claiming the first race of the new Formula One season after a gripping battle with Red Bull's Max Verstappen.
Sir Lewis Hamilton, as he is now, crosses the line and wins the Bahrain Grand Prix.
In his McLaren debut, Daniel Ricciardo was forced to settle for 7th, and he admits there's some work to do.
I certainly feel much better right now. I feel like there's for sure still things to learn, but I'm certainly much closer.
The Aussie has 3 weeks to iron out any kinks before the next race in Italy. The Matildas are firing on the world stage with Sam Kerr netting another brace for Chelsea as the Blues beat Aston Villa 2-0. But fellow Aussie Hayley Raso went one better, scoring her first hat-trick for Everton. A day to remember for Raso, and great signs for the Matildas as the Toppies trounced Brighton 5-0. And Clint, that is sports for you.
Thanks so much, Alicia. Well done. It's time to check in with Lavinia again now, and Lavinia set to warm up this week.
It sure is, Clint, and the longer the week goes on, the better it gets. And everyone's got their eyes on those public holidays. I'll let you know how warm it'll get next.
Introducing free MasterChef cookware from Coles.
They look impressive. Let's put them to the test. For every $20 you spend in one transaction, scan your Flybuys card to earn 1 MasterChef cookware credit.
Non-stick, how good is that?
Super durable. Collect your cookware free with all credits or with half credits and half pay. Not a Flybuys member? Register for Flybuys via flybuys.com.au to earn 10 bonus cookware credits. That's the way to cook like a MasterChef. Free MasterChef cookware from Coles. Value the Australian way.
Why choose Bupa? Because you'll get 6 weeks free when you join on eligible products. Because who doesn't want to save a little more? Search Bupa 6 weeks free to find out more.
When you choose hospital cover with NIB, you're choosing to control your health cover. That means you can avoid public hospital waiting lists, decide when and where you get treated, and pick the specialist that you trust the most. You can choose from a range of cover options to match your needs and budget, plus choose to save now or later with a range of excess levels. Get peace of mind and search NIB today. It's worth it.
Can love survive the most explosive week?
That was disgusting. What was disgusting? Have a look at your actions, mate.
In married history.
This is not a secret. I'm here to find love.
The most controversial season.
How about 15 of us walk out?
Ever.
I show up at the tornado.
We've never dealt with anything like this. just flown up The Bachelorette.
The Bachelorette, exclusive tonight now. Your world of free entertainment.
Instant price match promise. Visit Petbarn today.
Listen carefully. Watch. Learn. Mortal Kombat has begun.
There's a war coming.
We need to fight before it's too late.
Mortal Kombat. In cinemas April 15.
Great car wash, boys. Oh, but last time...
It's for the club.
Yeah, but fellas, it's like when I get my Toyota service, it's just one low price, doesn't change for 5 years. I'm still feeling it.
Nothing spoils that Toyota value feeling, and you can book your cash price service through the My Toyota app. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
The Snooze Autumn Sale is now on. Save up to 50% off mattresses and save up to 40% off bed frames. Plus, for 1 week only, get an extra 10% off all mattresses. Hurry, sale now on. What a little snooze can do.
Hey, it's me. Excited to explore WA?
Wander out west with Jetstar's WA Await Sale. Fly to Perth from $139. Ends 29th March. Exclusive check baggage conditions apply. Jetstar. All day, every day low fares.
Edie's father turned up.
Get ready for a roller coaster shock.
Jerry's taking Edie.
Straight to the heart. Wednesday.
Hello again. Well, despite the afternoon sunshine, Melbourne's had its coldest day in a fortnight, with the city only managing a top of 18 degrees. And for most of the day, it only felt like 14. Showers moved through around dawn, but only left light falls behind. 3.6 millimetres at Ferny Creek, 1.8 at Scoresby, 1.4 at Epping, and 1.6 at Frankston. There was a millimetre in the city, but less than that through the west. And although it stayed mild overnight with minimums of 13 and 14, the mercury struggled all day, failing to reach 20 degrees, just 15 at Ferny Creek, 18 and 19 elsewhere. It's another chilly morning for much of the state, with widespread minimums in single figures. The coldest spots away from the Alps were Rutherglen, getting down to 5 degrees, Horsham with a minimum of 6, and while it stayed cool through the south with maximums mostly in the high teens, there's been very little in the way of showers since 9 a.m. Quite a different day north of the ranges though, 23 at Bendigo, 25 at Horsham, and up to 26 and 27 through the Mallee. It's been very warm through the southwest of the country today, with Perth having an absolute scorcher, hitting 39 degrees. On the other side of the country, Canberra recorded its coldest morning of the year so far, dropping to just 3 degrees. It has been mostly dry, just light falls through the tropical north and showers along the north coast of New South Wales. There'll be more showers in that part of the country tomorrow, although they're expected to be more widespread along the coast, extending north into Queensland. But a high pressure system will move over Victoria, and that'll keep most of the country dry, and for us it means light breezes and clear skies. It'll be another cool night across Victoria as the mercury heads back below 10 degrees for most spots. Mansfield and Ballarat are forecast to drop to 5 degrees, Horsham 6 and the Latrobe Valley and Bendigo 7. But maximums will be higher than today. Most southern locations will leave the teens behind and head into the low 20s, and areas north of the ranges can expect to record maximums similar to today, mostly the mid-20s, 26 and 27 through the Mallees. Melbourne is in for another chilly night, with only Frankston and Rosebud forecast to stay in double figures. Yarra Glen should get down to 4 degrees, 7 at Ringwood, 8 at Pakenham, Epping and Melton. There'll be some patchy fog about early on, and after a partly cloudy morning, we can look forward to another lovely sunny afternoon with maximums in the low 20s. The city is forecast to drop to 10 degrees before warming up to 20 under light winds. There'll be fog around on Wednesday morning, but it'll be a beautiful day with light winds, sunny skies and a top of 22. They're no jokes, 28 degrees on the 1st of April, even better on Good Friday, 29. Then we'll crack 30 degrees on Saturday, cooling down a little after that, 20 on Sunday, 19 for Easter Monday. So a great combination in the week ahead, sunny days and public holidays, Clint.
Bring it on, Lavinia. Thanks so much for that. Now, before we go, thanks for your concern about our mate Peter Hitchener. He's just feeling a little unwell tonight and hopes to be back with you tomorrow night. Layla's up next with a current affair. For now, though, good night.
Hello, I'm Layla McKinnon. Welcome to A Current Affair. First, parents fuming over a high school assembly at which teenage boys were forced to stand up and apologise to female students on behalf of all men for rape and sexual assault. The Education Department admitted the school got it horribly wrong.
What about our boys? What about our boys?
We all got labelled as predators.
They told us to stand up and turn to a girl in our class and say sorry.
Students and their parents taking a stand.
Do you think there are any students here who do support what happened yesterday?
Not that I know of. And there is no way in hell that I would ever accuse any other man other than my rapist.
Last Wednesday at a full school assembly at Brower College in Victoria's Warrnambool, without warning, this video on sexual assault begins to play.
This rape culture is so deeply ingrained into today's world.
Then all male students, some as young as 12, are asked to stand and apologise to the girls around them for the behaviours of their gender.
I don't think it's okay to be sexually assaulted, but I don't think they should bring it down on us like that.
Year 7 student Levi has only been at the government secondary school since the start of this year. The 12-year-old was among many pupils left confused by what was happening.
I for one felt a bit under pressure to stand up, and if I didn't, then I felt like I was bad, like a bad person.
I'm a victim. I have a son that's a victim. And he came home and told me that he feels like he's been swept under the rug. He's got to say sorry to a girl that he's never done anything to, yet no one's standing up for him.
Single mum of 4, Rebecca Hughes, says she's disgusted.
All it's doing is saying that they are going to be perpetrators in the future. They are going to be predators and they're going to be rapists.
Rebecca's eldest, 15-year-old Vinny, is in Year 10.
They probably didn't even want us to say sorry to them.
The former year-level captain couldn't believe what was happening.
I heard girls behind me crying because they just got basically exposed to the whole entire school, and we had to apologise for stuff we didn't actually do.
Vinny's girlfriend Courtney was also left shaken.
I thought we would all have to stand up because it's not just the girls that get raped, it's the boys, because I know plenty of boys that have been sexually assaulted.
And there was one boy brave enough to actually sit down and not take a stand against it.
That Year 10 boy was hauled to the assistant principal's office for a chat.
He wasn't against the fact that females get sexually assaulted and hurt and raped. He was against the fact that no one was speaking up about the men that go on to hurt.
It can leave men and boys from the school feeling vulnerable.
Betty Shakuti is the director of the Australian Association of Psychologists.
It's really important that men are not feeling targeted because of their gender.
I just don't think it was right. The idea was there. It was a good idea, but just the way they did it.
These brave young men and women have shown extraordinary courage, risking so much by speaking out, something their principal didn't do, hiding inside her office as the Victorian Education Department released a statement on her behalf, admitting the school got it wrong, later holding an assembly to apologise to students.
He just gave us a longer lunch and tried to sugarcoat it with a longer lunch so everyone gets happy.
The school's handled this in a very bad way.
One of the teachers here at the school who's too afraid to speak out publicly over fears they'll lose their job has revealed none of the staff knew what was happening until that very second the boys were asked to stand up and say sorry, something that infuriated a number of the teachers. Several parents have now lodged formal complaints with the Education Department, which refused to say whether any staff would face consequences.
I'm debating whether I sent my children to the right school or not.
I just want everyone to be equal.
Broward College Principal Jane Boyle told us the schools can contacting parents to explain the reasons behind the assembly and to assure support is available for any student who requires it. Now, Queensland's worrying COVID outbreak. Just days before the Easter holidays, Chris Allen joins me from Brisbane. And Chris, the timing couldn't be worse.
It couldn't, Layla, and within minutes of the announcement that we were going into a lockdown here in Greater Brisbane, there was a frenzy as people rushed to the supermarkets to buy groceries. Now, I'm in Ashgrove in Brisbane's west. Things are pretty quiet here right now, but for much of the day I'm told there have been long queues and lengthy delays. One of those who managed to avoid the chaos is Kerry. Kerry, can I ask you what your reaction was when you heard we were going into a lockdown?
Well, I wasn't hugely surprised because I was aware that there's the community cases and that they were monitoring and doing tracking and tracing, so yeah, not a huge surprise.
And how did this affect your Easter plans?
Well, I was going to fly to Melbourne on Thursday night, so I'm probably not going to do that now, so I'll be cancelling a family catch-up over Easter down in Melbourne.
Sorry to hear that, but stay safe and thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
And Layla, quite obviously, as you mentioned there, we're just days away from Easter, and the reaction to the lockdown here has been swift. Western Australia has closed its borders to Queensland, Victoria, South Australia and Tasmania has closed their borders to Greater Brisbane. New South Wales are urging their residents not to travel north, but the trouble is, well, it was estimated that 3.5 million Aussies were planning to come to the Sunshine State for a holiday in the next month, and they must be worried that those plans won't come to fruition. But the thing is, it is only Greater Brisbane that's in lockdown. The Gold Coast, the Sunshine Coast, North Queensland are all open for business and hoping, of course, for tourists. The Premier has told us that we needed these 3 days to get the contact tracers working to hopefully reveal that the spread hasn't got any worse. If that's the case, on Wednesday night she said she will announce whether we need to extend this or whether hopefully it's over. So later it'll be fingers crossed, everyone hoping for the best.
Yes, let's hope it's just those 3 days. Chris Allen, thank you very much. Now, 2 weeks ago, most Australians had never heard of federal MP Andrew Laming. But since our special investigation exposing his strange behaviour, the floodgates have been opened. And soon, this disgraced politician will be looking for a new job.
It's awful, this sort of behaviour. If your ego gets so big, if your attitude is out of control, eventually there's a chance it's all going to catch up with you.
For Andrew Laming, the journey from outspoken MP to disgraced politician was less than 2 weeks.
I want to retract those comments and issue a public unreserved apology.
Not even this grovelling apology to Parliament late last week was enough to save him.
Then I express my regret and deep apologies.
Within hours, he admitted he didn't even know what he was apologising for, despite 2 of his constituents being reduced to tears by his years of online bullying.
To our Prime Minister, this man needs to stop.
But then the member for Bowman admitted to upskirting 26-year-old mum Crystal White, who spoke to 9 News.
If I'm the only one that's going to be brave, then I'll do it to protect other people.
That was the final straw for a man whose behaviour around his Brisbane electorate had been raising concerns for years. His 17 years as a Liberal backbencher will end at the next election, and in the meantime, he'll undergo empathy training.
This is a long-term pattern of behaviour, and not only is this individual deeply problematic, but the culture that has supported him and kept him there is even worse.
Professor Peter Miller is an expert in alcohol-related violence, but became another victim of Andrew Laming's bullying after speaking out on a current affair 2 weeks ago.
It's a really poor example where he could have been a role model. He's a medical professional as well.
They found some guy from Deakin University that's got his own battles with Big Macs,
telling me how to drink alcohol.
So what are you, you're fat shaming some bloke who appeared on the current affairs story?
Absolutely, with no hesitation.
Absolute disbelief that somebody would attack someone's weight when they're trying to talk about professional behaviour.
Look, I find it a bit hard to believe that someone of his age, a trained doctor, would need empathy training.
2GB radio host Ben Fordham questions Andrew Lamming's sudden need for immediate medical leave while still raking in a taxpayer-funded salary of $20,000 per month.
Well, I'm sorry, but a week ago you were walking around with all the swagger in the world, and now all of a sudden you're sick and you need to look after your mental health, and the only thing that has happened in between those two is you being caught out.
A Current Affair first exposed Andrew Lamming's questionable behaviour 2 weeks ago when video emerged of him in a sculling contest with a 19-year-old girl who was drinking straight vodka.
Why is a 54-year-old man married with 2 young kids, hanging out at parties, having drinking games with young people, men and women half his age? Whatever their age, they're Australian, they're city residents, and they're friends.
Now he's requested privacy for his family while he receives counselling, but continues to serve as a government MP with a promise to quit politics at the end of his term.
Our goal across all of these issues is to change behaviour. Andrew has said he wants to change his behaviour, so we intended to support him to do just that.
Andrew Lamming now will hang around and just watch the clock until the next election. Will the people in his electorate really get value for money? Probably not. But if he checks out early, then there's a by-election. That's probably not something Scott Morrison would want.
I'm sorry that your life has unravelled, but I think you've got to look at this in the context of the way in which you have harmed so many people over such a long period.
Time's up. Now from home sweet home to uncertain futures. That's the heartbreaking situation faced by elderly aged care residents and their families. For them, it's a case of profits before people.
What do you think of the place? Do you like it? Oh, it's beautiful. She loves it. Gee, that near the end of their life. It's fun.
Having to put a loved one in a nursing home is hard enough.
Open it up and have a look at it. You work all your life, pay your taxes all your life, and all of a sudden you chuck in the gut.
Getting forced out of a home you love is just as tough.
The owner of this place would have hanged his head in shame. It is disgusting. You alright?
No.
It is hard, isn't it?
There's been enough horror stories to come out of aged care over the past few years to make even Stephen King jealous. So when a loving and caring place like this one comes along, the residents and their families know how lucky they are. But now they've been told to clear out.
It's not the Taj Mahal, but the quality of care is outstanding. It's always clean. Hello, gorgeous. How are you?
The Parkview Nursing Home at Fine Doctor Sydney has been 85-year-old Shirley Malone's home for 6 years. The former ballroom dancer had a massive stroke, and like most families, Shirley's daughters Sandra and Lisa didn't know where to turn.
It's like a little extended family. You know, you see all these reports on how awful nursing homes are. And we think, oh, thank God she's not somewhere like that. You never went home worrying about how she was looked after.
Now that worry is starting all over again.
Have you been given a deadline on when you must move out?
No. They have no idea. I asked again today. No idea.
You alright?
No.
It is hard, isn't it?
The families of 31 residents have been told to get out. The owner of the home has sold it to a developer.
Shame on you. I think that this is a problem when healthcare is privatised, I think. And so it's all about profit and it's not about people anymore.
Well, I think it's disgusting.
Maggie Vauxhall's mother, Gloria, was meant to be celebrating her 102nd birthday this month. Instead, she'll be moving.
To send so many people out of a home that they've loved for years and to do that near the end of their life. It's wrong. Absolutely.
And with so many evictees and so few places to go, the cost is more than most can afford.
We've got to sell the home to pay the bond, which is anything from 650 to one was 1.5 million, the bond.
Wow.
Yeah.
What the owner got for selling Parkview is anyone's guess. It's been kept top secret. It was advertised as an aged care facility that makes $4.5 million a year. The agent's pointing out the land is zoned residential. 12 years ago, the property sold for $3.65 million.
What would you say to the owner if he was here right now? I wish he would come and become faces.
Kevin Hudson, who's now madly looking for another home for his 83-year-old mother Edna, says there are residents in Parkview who have no family to help.
One gentleman I know, that he doesn't know what he's going to do. As far as I know, he's got no family assistance, that anyone that can go out and help him to find a new place to live. So that's heartbreaking. Yeah, of course it is. You work all your life, pay your taxes all your life, and all of a sudden you chuck in the gut.
You know, our government should have stepped in. We've all discussed here, if we'd been given 12 months, we would have all sold our investment homes or whatever we had to keep this place going. That is the strong we feel.
Michelle Goldsmith, who still visits staff and residents after her parents died peacefully, is angry the government could allow a nursing home to close at a time when the population is ageing.
The government and the owner, the ex-owner of this place, should hang their head in shame. Not that they will, because they don't have a conscience.
The company that runs the nursing home is called Yukiva. The outright owner is Dimitru or James Boyan, and this is where he lives, a multi-million-dollar mansion on Sydney's Oatley Bay. We've made every attempt to speak to Mr. Boylan, and while we're not suggesting he can't sell, we wanted to ask, is it right that he's living a life of luxury here, while the nursing home residents are struggling to keep a roof over their head? 94-year-old Harry Millen says it certainly doesn't feel right.
When I came here, I had no future. And this is young where you go out the box. They all help me.
How does it make you feel, Harry, knowing that you have to say goodbye to this place?
I'm really teary. And I don't go to tears.
The families tell us almost half of those residents are still searching for accommodation. Breaks your heart, doesn't it? You can read the full statement from the nursing home on our website. After the break, when it sounds too good to be true, give it a wide berth.
Progress for life.
My name is Henry Walker. I work for the New York City Medical Examiner's Office. My money is just like yours, except for one small difference. It never ends.
Stream forever on 9 now, your world of free entertainment.
Looking for a convenient, ready-to-serve meal. For farm-to-bowl pet food, try Farmers Market. Brand power, helping you buy better.
The new Hilux comes with Toyota Safety Sensor Standard with features like pre-collision alert and brake assist, so you can awaken your unbreakable safely. The safe new Hilux. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
AGL Internet is here. Combine your home internet and energy to save $15 a month off your NBN plan. That's unlimited data, all from $60 per month. Combine and save today.
Hey, it's me. Excited to explore WA?
Wander out west with Jetstar's WA Awaits sale. Fly to Perth from $139. Ends 29th March. Exclude check baggage conditions apply. Jetstar. All day, every day low fares.
Water. It's everywhere. Yet Australia has less than 1% of the world's usable water. So why are we using more than most people on Earth? It's time we stop taking it for granted and stop hand washing our dishes. It's time we use our dishwashers more often and save up to 200 litres of water a week. And when you commit to this, Finish will donate water to farmers in need. Finish Quantum Ultimate Pro. Let's promise to make hand washing dishes history.
The MS Dream Home Lottery is back, and this year, how many could win a grand prize?